On Matthew's last night, dozens of LGBT activists came to see him off. A hero who served our community, they said. But when the FBI raided the pubs that night, it wasn't just money they found in the safes. 25 years of criminal files, death threats, gangland feuds. How much danger had Matthew actually endangered the community he promised to protect? Welcome to Ironville Stories. Tonight, we're diving into one of the most complex moral contradictions in organized crime history. The story of Matty the Horse, Romano, the man who protected New York's gay community while secretly using their safe spaces to launder millions in mob money. This is a story about exploitation disguised as protection and the price of survival in 1970s America. In 1975, Matthew Romano owned 80 gay bars across New York City. To the LGBT community, he was their guardian angel, the straight ally who gave them safe spaces when nowhere else would. This was the era when being gay was still illegal in most states. Police raids were common. Violence was expected. Discrimination was legal. Gay bars operated in constant fear, except for Matthew's establishments. Matthew's bars were different. Clean, welcoming, protected. When police threatened raids, somehow they never happened. When violent gangs targeted gay customers, Matthew's security was always there. When other businesses refused to serve LGBT patrons, Matthew's doors stayed open. The community trusted him completely. He sponsored pride events, donated to civil rights organizations, appeared at protests holding rainbow flags. Television interviews showed him as the perfect ally, a successful businessman using his influence to protect a marginalized community. Every human deserves dignity and safety, he'd say in interviews. These people are my friends, my customers, my community. I'll protect them with everything I have. What the community didn't know was that Matthew Romano was a captain in the Genovese crime family, and their safe spaces were actually the largest money laundering operation in New York. Ever trusted someone who was secretly using you? Type guardian angel betrayal. Matthew's criminal genius lay in recognizing that gay bars were perfect for organized crime operations. First, they operated in cash. No credit cards in the 1970s gay scene. Everything was cash transactions. Perfect for laundering dirty money from drugs, extortion, and murder contracts. Second, they were isolated from law enforcement. Police avoided gay establishments unless absolutely necessary. They certainly weren't going to investigate the finances of bars they considered morally questionable. Third, the community's loyalty created an impenetrable shield. Any investigation would be seen as homophobic persecution. Matthew had built-in protection from both criminals and law enforcement. His system was mathematically elegant. Dirty money from Genovese operations flowed through his bar's daily receipts. A $50,000 drug payment became busy Saturday night revenue. Murder contract money became private party bookings. Matthew employed over 300 people across his 80 establishments. Bartenders, security guards, managers. None knew they were working for the mob. They genuinely believed they were serving their community. The beauty of his operation was its dual purpose. The bars actually did protect the gay community, but only because doing so protected his criminal enterprise. Community safety and mob profits were perfectly aligned. By 1978, Matthew was processing over $5 million annually in criminal money through his gay bar network. The FBI estimated this represented 60% of Genovese family money laundering in Manhattan. Ever realized you were unknowingly part of something bigger? Type unknowing accomplice. After the 1969 Stonewall riots, Matthew positioned himself as the business leader of the gay rights movement. He understood that social justice movements create powerful political shields for criminal operations. Supporting civil rights gave him legitimacy, media coverage, and political protection. Matthew funded legal challenges to anti-gay laws. He organized boycotts against discriminatory businesses. He hired openly gay employees when other companies refused. Everything looked genuinely supportive. But his real motivation was business protection. Every civil rights victory made his bars more valuable. Every legal protection for gay establishments strengthened his criminal infrastructure. The irony was brutal. Matthew genuinely advanced gay rights while simultaneously exploiting the community for criminal purposes. His money helped win legal battles that protected both civil liberties and mob operations. Matthew's political network was impressive. City council members, state legislators, even federal politicians attended his fundraisers. They saw him as a progressive businessman supporting social justice. What they didn't see were the basement meetings after public events, where Genovese soldiers discussed drug territories, murder contracts, and extortion targets. The same venues hosting civil rights celebrations also hosted crime family business. Matthew walked this double life flawlessly. By day, he was Matthew Romano, civil rights champion. By night, he was Matty the Horse, Genovese captain coordinating criminal operations worth millions. How thin is the line between protection and exploitation? Type double life contradiction. For 15 years, the FBI completely missed Matthew's operation, and for an embarrassing reason, institutional homophobia. In the 1970s, FBI agents were reluctant to investigate gay establishments. It was considered career-damaging to spend time in gay bars, even for professional reasons. This created a massive blind spot in organized crime surveillance. Matthew exploited this perfectly. His most sensitive meetings happened in plain sight at gay bars, knowing federal agents wouldn't follow him inside. Criminal discussions occurred on dance floors, in private booths, during drag shows. The Genovese family's most important decisions were made in environments FBI surveillance couldn't penetrate due to institutional prejudice. When agents occasionally questioned his frequent presence at gay establishments, Matthew had the perfect cover. "I'm a businessman serving a marginalized community." No one investigated further. This continued until 1982, when a new FBI task force specifically focused on Genovese money laundering was formed. Agent Sarah Martinez was assigned to follow financial trails regardless of location. Agent Martinez didn't care about the social politics. She followed the money, and the money led directly to Matthew's gay bar empire. What she discovered shocked the Bureau. The bars weren't just fronts. They were the central nervous system of Genovese financial operations. Every major criminal transaction flowed through Matthew's establishments, but building a case would require extensive undercover work in gay bars. The FBI had never attempted this before. Ever realized your biases created dangerous blind spots? Type institutional blind spot. Agent Martinez convinced the FBI to launch Operation Safe Space, an undercover investigation of Matthew's bars. The operation was unprecedented. Federal agents had to become convincing gay bar patrons while investigating organized crime. It required months of preparation and cultural training. Agent Martinez recruited agents willing to work undercover in gay establishments. Many agents refused, fearing career damage. Those who agreed underwent extensive briefing on gay culture, slang, and social dynamics. The undercover work revealed the shocking scope of Matthew's operation. Every bar had hidden rooms for counting dirty money. Basement areas served as meeting spaces for criminal planning. Private offices contained extensive records of illegal transactions. Most disturbing was the genuine affection the community felt for Matthew. Customers praised him constantly. Staff members described him as a father figure. The community genuinely believed he protected them from persecution. But the FBI recordings revealed the truth. Matthew discussing murder contracts while planning pride events, ordering drug territory violence while organizing civil rights fundraisers, using community events as cover for criminal meetings. The investigation took 3 years. Agents documented millions in money laundering, extensive racketeering, and connections to at least 12 murders, all hidden behind the facade of community protection. By 1985, the FBI had enough evidence to arrest Matthew and dismantle his entire operation. On March 15, 1985, the FBI raided all 80 of Matthew's bars simultaneously. The community's reaction was immediate outrage, not at Matthew, but at the FBI. Protesters gathered outside federal buildings, claiming the raids were homophobic persecution. "Leave our protector alone," they chanted. Even as FBI agents carried out boxes of evidence documenting criminal enterprises, the gay community rallied around Matthew. They organized legal defense funds, hired lawyers, launched media campaigns supporting him. The most painful moment came during Matthew's arrest. As FBI agents led him away in handcuffs, dozens of gay activists surrounded the police cars, shouting support and promising to fight the charges. These people genuinely loved the man who had been exploiting them for decades. Matthew's trial revealed the full scope of his deception. Prosecutors presented evidence of $47 million in money laundering, coordination of organized crime activities, and use of community trust to facilitate criminal operations. The gay community initially refused to believe it. Then came the recorded conversations, Matthew laughing about those idiots who trusted him, discussing how the fags make perfect cover, planning violence while attending their celebrations. The betrayal was complete. The man they'd trusted as their protector had viewed them as useful tools for criminal operations. Matthew Romano was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. But the real punishment was what happened to the community he'd betrayed. When his bars closed, New York's gay community lost 80 safe spaces overnight. Other bar owners, fearing mob connections, refused to serve gay patrons. The community was left more vulnerable than before Matthew arrived. Worse, police used Matthew's crimes to justify increased harassment of gay establishments. "We were right to be suspicious," they claimed. LGBT activism faced new accusations of criminal connections. The community struggled with a terrible question. Had their civil rights progress been built on mob money? Were their victories tainted by criminal funding? Community leaders worked to separate Matthew's crimes from their legitimate civil rights achievements. They organized new, genuinely community-owned establishments. They rebuilt trust with legitimate political allies. But the damage was lasting. For years, opponents used Matthew's crimes to attack gay rights legislation. "Remember the Romano scandal," they'd say, when LGBT protections were proposed. The community learned a bitter lesson about the price of survival. In desperate times, accepting protection from questionable sources seemed necessary. But that protection came with hidden costs they never imagined. Matthew Romano died in federal prison in 2003, still claiming he genuinely cared about the gay community. His legacy remains complicated. The bars he operated did provide safety for thousands of gay New Yorkers during dangerous times. His political support did advance civil rights legislation. His employment practices did give opportunities to marginalized people. But all of this was in service of criminal exploitation. Every kindness had a hidden price. Every protection served mob interests. The gay community eventually rebuilt stronger and more independent. But they never forgot the lesson of Matthew Romano. Survival through criminal protection always comes with unacceptable costs. Today, the few remaining community members who remember Matthew speak of him with complex emotions: gratitude for genuine safety he provided, anger at his exploitation, sadness at the betrayal of their trust. Matty the Horse. Romano's story teaches us about the dangerous seduction of protection without accountability. His iron will enabled him to maintain perfect dual loyalties for decades, genuinely advancing civil rights while coordinating criminal enterprises, authentically caring for individuals while exploiting their community. But his greatest demonstration of will came in his final years, refusing to provide evidence against other Genovese members, even when offered reduced sentences. He protected the criminal family that had used his genuine community connections. Real protection doesn't come with hidden agendas. True allies don't exploit trust for personal gain. Authentic civil rights progress doesn't depend on criminal money. Subscribe for more iron will stories of complex moral contradictions in organized crime. If this story made you question who you trust and why, type complex protection in the comments. Remember, the most dangerous exploitation often comes disguised as protection.